All right, welcome back for another deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
You guys know how this works by now. You give us the goods, and we roll up our sleeves and dig in, see what we can find.
Exactly.
So this time, we're back to our series, Hooked from the First Line. We've done a bunch of these already, right?
Yeah, we've had some real winners and some, well, not so much.
And this time, we're tackling a real heavyweight, East of Eden by John Steinbeck.
Oh, now that's a good one, a classic.
Big, sweeping story, family sagas, biblical parallels.
Heavy stuff.
But is it hooked from the first line? That's what we're here to find out.
Let's see it.
Okay, here it is, the opening line. The Salinas Valley is in Northern California. It is a long, narrow swale between two ranges of mountains, and the Salinas River winds and twists up the center until it falls at last into Monterey Bay. So what do you think? Just a geography lesson, or is there something more going on here?
Well, it seems pretty straightforward at first glance, doesn't it?
It does.
Steinbeck just laying out the scene, giving us the lay of the land.
Right. But for a book like East of Eden, I feel like there's got to be something more going on.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is Steinbeck we're talking about. He doesn't waste words.
Exactly. So help me out here. What's he doing with this opening line?
Well, look at how he describes the valley. It's long and narrow, hemmed in by those mountain ranges. Almost claustrophobic, you know?
Yeah, I see that.
And then there's that river, winding and twisting. Doesn't that sound kind of like a metaphor for life? Full of unexpected turns?
Yeah, definitely. So we're not just talking about physical geography here. The valley itself is like a character.
Right. And it's a character that Steinbeck knew really well. The Salinas Valley was his home.
That's right.
He grew up there. And our sources talk about how important that valley was to him, both personally and in his writing.
So how does that personal connection play into this opening line?
Well, I think it gives it a real sense of authenticity. Steinbeck wasn't just describing a random place. He was describing a place that he loved, a place that had shaped him.
So what was the Salinas Valley like for Steinbeck? I mean, it's obviously beautiful, but was there more to it than that?
Well, you know, it's California. Everyone pictures sunshine and beaches. But the Salinas Valley is more than that. It's fertile. It's got that agricultural richness. But it's also got this harshness to it.
That's interesting.
Like, he uses the word swale to describe the valley. It's not just a valley, it's almost like a ditch.
Huh.
There's this sense of both abundance and limitation. Kind of like, you know, life itself, full of promise, but also full of challenges.
Yeah, I see that. And, you know, that really connects to the whole East of Eden thing. I mean, we're talking about good versus evil, about choices and consequences.
Right. And by starting with the land, Steinbeck's emphasizing the timelessness of those themes.
It's almost like the Garden of Eden, right? This paradise that's ultimately lost.
Exactly. And the Salinas Valley becomes this sort of modern-day Eden, a place where people are still wrestling with those same temptations, those same struggles.
So what you're saying is that this opening line, as simple as it seems, it's actually doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Absolutely. It's setting the stage for the entire novel, introducing us to the key themes, foreshadowing the conflicts to come, even giving us a glimpse of Steinbeck's own personal connection to the story.
It's amazing how much he packs into one sentence.
Yeah, and don't forget, this is a story about generations, about families inheriting the land, but also inheriting these patterns of behavior.
Right.
So starting with the valley emphasizes that sense of history, that sense of things being passed down.
It's like he's saying, this is where it all begins.
Yeah, this land, it shapes us. It's in our blood.
Man, Steinbeck was a master.
He really was.
So for those of you listening, if you're thinking about revisiting East of Eden, pay close attention to how that valley imagery keeps popping up throughout the book.
It's everywhere.
Because Steinbeck is constantly reminding us that this land, this valley, it's not just a setting. It's a force that shapes the lives of everyone who lives there.
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks for diving in with us today. We'll see you next time for another deep dive.
See you then.